to the computer. Right. And because of my internet connection is a bit bad, so I have to stop my video when I share my screen, okay? I hope you're okay with that. Okay, so welcome to Development Economics 1 in FEB Universitas Gajah Mada. Well, let's go to the course description. Okay, the objective of this course is to understand the strength and the weakness of different approach to economic development. So what we will learn in this course is mostly theories, and we will identify the strength and weakness of those theories. And when you take Development Economics 2 or the advanced version of this course, then we will learn more about the empirical evidence and then the research and the current issues of development. But in this course, we will learn more about the theory. Other than theory, we will also learn about policies. So which policies are appropriate to any given development situation, okay? But the policy here, the context is the policies in the ideal world. So this is still the ideal world that we're going to talk about. In the more advanced course, we will talk about in the more positive sense instead of in the ideal sense. Okay, and in addition, this course aims at growing your critical thinking on various approaches and issues in development. So we will also focus on your critical thinking in the approach of issues in development. And in this course, we will initially approach this question from a macro perspective. So from the bird eye view, from the aggregate perspective, and then later we will introduce the microeconomic view of the problems. Okay, so we will begin with the macro perspective and then micro perspective. And then there are two objectives of this course. The first one is, so after you complete this course, you are expected to have understanding on development economics theories. And then the second one is to be able to analyze and examine relevant empirical issues using theories and models discussed in class. Okay, so that's the course objective and then course description. And in terms of its structures, there will be two instructors for this course. The first one is Pak Gumilang Aryo Sahadewo, and then me, Amanda Wijayanti. Okay, Pak Gumilang and I will take turn teach this class. Pak Gumilang will take the week 7, and then for the rest of the semester, you will be with me. If you want to reach both of us, you can contact us. You can reach us through this email here. We will reply your email. We will always reply your email, so don't worry about it. And then our office is in the Ruang Kerja Dosen, but because of the pandemic, nobody is in the office. So that's why you have to reach us via email. And oh, sorry, this is wrong. Actually, our class meeting is every Thursday at 4:30 to 7 p.m. Okay. Okay. And then this is the textbook that we will use. I think all of the material in the PowerPoint will be taken from this textbook, Todaro, Economic Development. So this is our main textbook. If you can get the presentation of this book or the book itself, I think it's going to be great. And then other than the main textbook, we will also have supporting textbook here. We will not discuss a lot about this book, but this is a very good book. So if in the Todaro, we will learn a lot about theory and the previous research, but in the Abhijit Banerjee's book, Poor Economics, this one here, you will learn more about the real world. So the current issue, the empirical research, so you will find it here. And I think it's a really good book to read, you know, outside the class, to read when you have time, to spend your spare time to read this, I think it's going to be great. So if you can get a hold of this book, that will also be great. But all of the PPT from Todaro's book, I will share to you every week after the lecture is over. So that way you can learn by yourself after the class. Okay? And then now we go to students' responsibility. So this is important for you to pay attention. So the first one, your first responsibility is you have to submit your assignment on time. So for whatever reason, late assignment will not be accepted. So I will give you assignment. In each assignment, I will give you at least 1 week to do it. So you will know in advance is if I will going, you will know in advance if I'm going to give you an assignment. So that's why if you submit it late, I will not tolerate it. Okay. And then the second one is it is your right to attend the class. So there is no minimum attendance rules from the instructor. I don't have minimum attendance. Nevertheless, the academics department has minimum attendance requirement. So you have to pay attention to that. If I'm not mistaken, you need at least 75% attendance to join the exam. And if there is a canceled class or canceled meeting like the last 2 weeks, it will not affect your attendance. I will consider that your attendance is 100% in the canceled class, so you don't have to worry about it because a canceled class is caused by me, so it's my fault. So that's why I will not take attendance in the canceled class. Okay. And the class will always begin on time because this is an online class. So I wouldn't be aware like who's coming late or who's not coming late. I don't know that. But if you come late to the class, please be respectful and do not forget to mute yourself if you come late, so you do not disturb the class. Okay. And then the next one is, if your action is considered disturbing, you will be asked to leave. And then the last one, this is the most important. If you are caught cheating or plagiarize, you automatically fail the entire course. So be careful with that. If I can prove that you cheat, or if I can prove that you plagiarize something, then you will fail the course. Okay? And be careful because if one day I give you an assignment to write a paper and you do not cite a source correctly, then it could be considered plagiarism. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the academic integrity. I think you already know that from your MOS and from your anti-plagiarism training. So the main idea is if you cheat or you plagiarize, then you will fail. Failure of the entire course is the consequence of any academic integrity violation. Okay. The next one. This is the teaching methods of this class. So in this class, we will use blended learning. What do I mean by blended? By blended, I mean we will combine between between lecture video and Zoom meeting. So what we do this time right now is Zoom meeting. But other than Zoom meeting, I will upload a lecture video on YouTube. So ideally, I will upload a material video on YouTube before the class meeting. So you have opportunity to watch the video first, and on the Zoom meeting, you can ask questions if you don't understand, or you can discuss issues that are interesting to you that has something to do with the current material. So ideally, I want our Zoom meeting to be more about discussion rather than my monologue. Okay. And then I will let you know the link to the lecture video via email. So I will send it via email to you later after this class. And then, oh, it's not in here. Okay. So if there is a canceled meetings, like our last two meetings, we don't have to reschedule the Zoom meeting. I'm just going to upload the video for the missing lecture, and then that is considered the rescheduled meeting. Okay, so we don't need to reschedule our meeting. And then the second one, you are encouraged to actively raise question and participate in the class discussion. Okay, so don't be shy. If you have question, or maybe I got something wrong, please correct me. Raise your hand, ask question, participate in the discussion. Okay, you can unmute yourself if you want, or you can type in the chat if you want. And if you have something interesting to share, but you don't want to share it during Zoom meeting, please send an email to me. I will be happy to reply your email. Okay. And then in terms of assignment, it will be either uploaded in the CMaster, or I will use Google Form, or maybe I will use email. I will always let you know in advance. So do not worry about it. Okay. And then the next one, this is the grading system that we use in this class. So 40% of your final grade is from final exam, 30% is from mid exam, and 30% is from assignment. And this is the range of your final score. If your final score is above 90, then you will get an A. But if it's not more than 50 or not more than 45, then you will get C minus. So you can see the range in here. Okay, and this is the range that we use in the university. So I think in every faculty it's the same. The range of the score is similar. Okay, and then this is the course outline. So we will have at least 13 meetings, I guess. This is the outline. So you can see that, sorry, I haven't told you what this TS is. So TS here is Todaro, oh, sorry. What I mean by TS here is Todaro Smith, our main textbook. So all of the presentation that will be discussed in class is from Todaro textbook. Todaro is this one. So this is Michael Todaro and Stephen Smith. Okay. So all of the PPT will be from Todaro. And then I plan to give you 6 homework in every 2 weeks. But this is my plan. So I don't know. We will see if I will actually give you 6 homework, or maybe less than 6 or more than 6. I still haven't decided. But I will give you a problem set. Oh, I will let you know at least 2 weeks in advance for every problem set. Okay, so don't worry about it. This is still a tentative plan. Okay, so as you see, this is the range of our course. We will talk a lot about today's the introduction to economic development, and then next week we will talk more about the classic theories, and then contemporary models, and then poverty. And then for the week 7, this will be handled by Pak Gumilang, because he's one of the expert in education and health economics in our faculty. Okay. Okay. So that's the characteristic of our class. Before I begin the material, do you guys have any question? Please ask away. No question? Are you sure? Okay. If you don't have any question, I will just go on. Okay. So let's begin our material for today. I forgot to say, I forgot to tell you this. Because we use blended learning, which means you will have access to the material video beforehand. So I expect that our lecture might not be 2.5 hours full. So I expect that you watch the video and then we will use 60 to 90 minutes every week to discuss and then we can finish the class. Okay. But that can only happen if you watch the video first. So I wish you really watch the video before you came to class. Okay. I did that method last semester, and it seems like all the students are happy about it. So I hope you guys are also happy with that method as well. Okay, so let's begin. So, development economics, this is your first course in development economics. Introduction to development economics. The study of economic development is one of the newest, most exciting, and most challenging branches of the broader disciplines of economics and political economy. So it is stated here that this is one of the newest, so it means that this discipline is still young and also most exciting, yet most challenging, which means you will have fun, but you will also challenge in this course. It is going to be, I think, a relatively difficult course, I think, but it's going to be fun. So you will enjoy it. And then the traditional economics is concerned primarily with efficiency, it's actually efficiency, least cost allocation of scarce productive resource with the optimal growth of this resource over time as to produce an ever expanding range of goods and services. So the keyword here is least costly and the optimal growth. So the traditional economics main goal is usually optimization and efficiency, right? You have learned about it in the microeconomics course. You will see that we will want a combination of uh, production where it is least costly but have optimum result, right? So that's the traditional economics that we learn. And on the other hand, political economy is concerned with the relationship between politics and economics, with a special emphasis on the role of power in the economic decision making. So while the traditional economics focus on optimization and efficiency, political economy is concerned with politics and the role of power in the decision making. And because development economics is the branch of both economics and political economy, so what is it about? Well, let's see. Compared to those two, development economics has even greater scope. So compared to the traditional economics and the political economics, development economics has greater scope. The development economics is the study of how economies are transformed from stagnation to growth and from low income to high income status and to overcome problems of absolute poverty. So this is the main idea of development economics. So development economics, the goal is to transform stagnation to growth and from low income to high income status and to overcome the problems of absolute poverty. Okay. Consequently, development economics must be concerned with the formulation of appropriate public policies designed to affect major economic, institutional, and social transformation of entire society in a very short time. So, other than focus in the transformation here, so development economics wants to see a transformation, right? From stagnant to growth, from low income to high income, and from absolute poverty to um, well to a better well-being, right? But other than that, development economics also concerned with the public policy because they expect to have a policy that are have positive effect for the major economics, yet in a very short time can show a real result. Okay, so that's basically the description of development economics. So I think it's pretty broad. It's pretty broad, right? So that's why it is said here that it has greater scope than traditional economics and political economy. And it is difficult, I have to admit, but it is also exciting, like it stated before. So there are some topics in development economics. The first one is growth and development, poverty and inequality, human capital, urbanization, population growth, foreign aid, and policy in development. Okay, this is some of the topics. Actually, there are a lot of other topics here, but some that we will talk about in this class are this. Okay, so that's the introduction of what development economics is. If you have question, you may ask. No question. You guys are very quiet. You guys make me nervous. Okay. If you don't have a question in the meantime, it's okay. Let's go to the first chapter of Todaro textbook. So the first chapter in the textbook. Yes, if you have question, Trisna Wijaya, you can type or you can unmute yourself. Oh no, okay. I guess it was just you just type it accidentally. Okay, it's okay. So let's go on. So the first chapter is the title is Introducing Economic Development, a Global Perspective. So in this first week, we're just going to take a look at the global perspective of economic development. Okay. So here, the first chapter is titled "How the Other Half Life." How the Other Half Live. What does this mean? Well, you know, in the world, not everyone has the same amount of resources, right? Some people live some people live in the rich community, some people are middle income population, and some others live below the poverty line. So here, how the other half live, what the book means by this is it asks us, the book show us how the perspective of some people around the world who live under absolute poverty. So there are some quotation here from poor people around the world. I will just read some of them. You can read the rest by yourself. So here is a quote from a poor woman in Uganda. So she said, when one is poor, she has no say in public. She feels inferior. She has no food. So there is famine in her house, no clothing, and no progress in her family. And then there is also a quotation from a young man in Zambia. When food was in abundance, relatives used to share it. These days of hunger, however, not even relatives would help you by giving you some food. And then there are other quotation here, but the main idea why Todaro showed all of this quotation is he wants to say that a universal theme reflected in the 7 quotes is that poverty is more than lack of income. It is inherently multidimensional, as is economic development. So we might assume that poverty or being poor is all about not having enough money or not having enough income. Well, it's not only that, because poverty is inherently multidimensional problem, and so is economic development. Okay, and then here, what we're going to study in the economics and development studies. So what we're going to talk about in this course, the first one is the nature of development economics, which is greater scope than traditional neoclassical economics and political economy. This is what we have talked about in the previous slide. And then we will later in this course, we will also talk about some critical questions on why we need to study development economics. And then after that, we will also talk about the important role of values in the development economics. Okay. Here in the Todaro, the book show a figure about world distribution. Let's take a look at the figure A here. So in the figure A, okay, you can see it. So here is the figure show the world income distribution by percentiles of the population at 2000. So you can see here that the richest population, here have much more income distributed to them compared to the poor population, right? You can see that this is much larger than this one. Okay, and the poor one is here. So this figure showed income inequality in terms of income distribution by percentile of population between rich and poor population. Okay, the x-axis here is per capita income. It looks like a champagne glass because how unequal it is. And then, and at figure B, we can see here, this is the regional percentage of population for each 20% of income. So from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, we can see that number 1 is high income country, OECD. And then number 2, Central Europe. And then number 3 is Latin America. Number 4 is East Asia and Pacific. Number 5 is South Asia. And number 6 is Sub-Saharan Africa. You can see here in the richest population, mostly live in the high income OECD. So this is number 1 in here. And only a very small number of people from, like, for example, Sub-Saharan Africa here, this is number 6, live in the rich, are in the rich population. Meanwhile, in the poorest, we can see here that in Sub-Saharan Africa, the proportion is very high, and then in the OECD, the proportion is smaller. Okay, so this is the regional percentage of population for its 20% of income. Basically, both of these figures show income inequality in terms of region and in terms of income distribution. Okay, but this is report at 2005. So nowadays the data might have been updated to the newest data. Okay, let's go on. So we will also, okay, this is important. Economics as social system, the need to go beyond simple economics. So like I said before, because traditional economics only focus on efficiency and optimization, in terms of development economics, we need to go beyond that. So we need to go beyond simple or traditional economics. So that's why it is important to see economies as social systems. By social systems, we mean the interdependent relationship between economic and non-economic factors. So if in the microeconomics, we only consider the economic factors, like for example, the production factors, the worker, the wage, and then the demand elasticity or things like that. In terms of development studies or economic development, we have to consider the non-economic factors as well. Okay. And then also we need to pay attention in the success or failure of development policy. This is important to take account of institutional and structural variables along with more traditional economic variables. So like, for example, if you want to, let's say, solve poverty, it is not enough to just drop some money to the poor people. No, we have to consider the institutional factor and the structural factor. Like, for example, you cannot just dump some money. You have to pay attention to the uh, health health quality, for example, or education quality. Like, for example, do they have school? Do they have enough hospital? Can they access clean water and things like that? Okay, so that's important in the development policy. And then, okay, what do we mean by development? So in traditional economics, we usually focus on the monetary unit side, right? Because we often measure the success of a development in terms of GNI or gross national income, or sometimes people also use GDP or gross domestic product or income per capita. Well, this is good. I mean, there is nothing wrong with GDP or income per capita, but the thing is, it's not the only thing that we have to be concerned about when we talk about development. We also need to talk about the income inequality, for example, and the health quality or regional development or things like that. Okay, so that was the traditional economic measure. And then the next one, we have the new economic view of development. So this is the improvement of traditional economic measure is the new economic view of development. In the new economic view of development, we will focus on the improvement in well-being. So this is a better measure of development rather than GDP or income per capita. In the new view, in the new economic view, we focus on the improvement, whether the people are better off or not. Now, other than that, we will talk about Amartya Sen's capability approach. So according to Amartya Sen's, what considered as development of an economy is measured in terms of capability. So what is capability in this context? According to Amartya Sen, this is the functionings as an achievement. So functioning as an achievement. So if someone can achieve something that they want, it doesn't have to be something big. Like, for example, if a kid from a village wants to go to school, then the kid can go to school. Because if someone is sick, they can go to the hospital. Basic things like that, like that. And then the second one, capabilities as freedoms to enjoy in terms of functionings, and then development and happiness, and then well-being in terms of being well and having freedoms of choice. In his book, Amartya Sen said that freedoms of choice here is like what I just told you. When someone is poor and they are sick, they don't have other choice but to deal with it themselves. If they are not poor, then they will have choice to go to the hospital, to go to the doctor, or to eat better food and things like that. And then here, Amartya Sen also talk about beings and doings. What are those? Let's see in the next slide. This is some key of capabilities. There is some delay in the screen. Okay, some important beings and doings in capability function. The first one is being able to live long. Oops, sorry. Being able to live long, being well nourished, being healthy, being literate, being well clothed, being mobile, being able to take part in the life of the community, and being happy. A state of being may be valued as a functioning. So if you are interested in the philosophical approach of development, I recommend you to read Amartya Sen's book. Okay. So other than that, these are the core values of development. So there are three core values of development. The first one is sustenance, or the ability to meet basic needs, and then self-esteem, to be a person. So it has been proved that if someone is poor, and then they will most likely have low self-esteem, because maybe they don't have steady job, they don't have enough income, and it it hurts their self-esteem. And then the last one is freedom from servitude, or being able to choose. Okay, this is an interesting figure here. So this is figure from Todaro's book. This is income and happiness comparing countries. In the y-axis, you can see the average person. The average person happy and person satisfied. So that's like the happiness index in the y-axis, and the x-axis is income per head, or income per capita. You can see here that in some countries like Netherlands, Switzerland, Norway, and USA, they are happy when the income is also high. So that's not odd, right? That's not strange. And then here you see that in Zimbabwe, Moldova, Ukraine, and Russia, the happiness is pretty low and the income is also pretty low. That is not odd. That is not strange at all. But what's interesting is in some countries, like in Indonesia, Nigeria, Vietnam, and Brazil here, and Mexico, the happiness is pretty high, even though the income is pretty low. So that's something strange. Why is the happiness high, but the income is low? So why is it? You can find out yourself if you are curious about it. But I will say that it's just the variability of countries. And other than that, also because the income is using US dollar. Meanwhile, our income here is in rupiah, right? Of course, rupiah compared to US dollar is pretty low. That's why the income is in here. Okay. Okay. So that's the figure of income and happiness. Okay. Let's continue about the topics that we will discuss in development economics. The next one is the central role of women. So, in the economic development, woman is a very, or gender empowerment is a very sexy topic, because it is said here that to make the biggest impact on development, societies must empower and invest in women, which is true, yeah. So we will talk a lot about the role of women in this course. And then there are three objectives of development. The first one is to increase availability of life-sustaining goods, and then raise levels of living, and then expand range of economic and social choices. Okay, and this is MDGs, or Millennium Development Goals. I'm sure you are familiar with that. So there are 8 MDGs by United Nations at 2000. I think it's already been revised, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't have memory. I don't remember what are the revision. You can find out yourself if you are curious. But the MDGs at the year 2000 is, the first one is eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, promote gender equality and empower women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combats HIV/AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability, and develop a global partnership for development. Okay. We will talk about MDGs a little bit in this course, not much, just a little bit. And here, each of the goal has their own specific target. You can read it yourself if you are curious, and you can see what are the revision, because I don't remember what the revisions are. And then, okay, that's the MDGs. Oh, okay. I guess the conclusion of this introduction is, the first one, we have underlined the importance of development economics, and then the inclusion of non-economic variable in designing development strategies, and then achieving the Millennium Development Goals, and then this quote, one future or none at all. What do we mean by this? So if I'm not mistaken, it means that one future here is the future where everyone is better off, because we have economic development and we can overcome the problem of absolute poverty. Okay, so that's it for the material. If you have question, don't be shy. I'm not going to bite you. Please ask me via chat, or you can unmute yourself. Okay. Oops. Any question? Anything?
Ma'am, can I ask?
Yes, yes, you can. I'm just surprised with your voice. Okay, please ask.
My conclusion, it is directly stated that one future or none at all. I mean, like there might be some other alternatives, like instead of that particular future, in which basically, yeah, I know that goals are actually required to be achieved, but then like there are some things that beyond the control of the humans, right, ma'am? Like there are some variables, and how can
Sorry, I think you are putus-putus. Can you repeat your question?
ma'am, why in the conclusion it is directly stated that it langsung straightforward gitu, ma'am, one future or none at all. Like, why can the conclusion be that straightforward? Because, like, is there any other alternative beside that particular one future that is basically described?
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for the question, Naufal. So, why one future or none at all? Wait a minute. So, um, wait, let me stop my video first. So why is it straightforward? Because in this context, what we mean by one future is the future where we can achieve the economic development goals. And what was the economic development goals? We have talked about it in the previous slide, right? It's the transformation from stagnation into growth, and then from low income into high income, and then to overcome the problems of absolute poverty. So that's the main goal, right? So this is like the the hyperbole of this goal. So like we have to achieve those goals. If we cannot achieve it, then none of the other alternative scenario is better than that. So that's why the quote is one future or none at all. So that's just like the hyperbole sentence of it. But I think it's ear catching. That's why you asked, right? Because it's ear catchy. So that's why I put it in the slide. Okay. Thank you, Naufal, by the way. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Other question? If you are curious, like for example, about the assignment or anything else, you can ask. It doesn't have to be the material. Oh, and also because we are 2 meetings behind, so I think for your maybe the second and the third meeting, I will put it on YouTube. And then the next week, when we see each other, we will talk about the material for the fourth week. Okay, because this is the third week, right? Actually, but we are 2 meetings behind. So the material for the second week and the third week I will put in the YouTube. Next week we will talk about the material for the fourth week. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
For the problem sets,
Mm-hmm.
may I know what kind of the type of questions that you will ask? Is it like more essay questions or like are there calculations? And are we supposed to handwrite it or can we also type it? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Very good question, Matthew. So for the assignment, I haven't decided. I haven't decided whether it's going to be essay, it's going to be multiple choice, or it's going to be paper. I haven't decided. But I give you freedom whether to type or to handwrite your assignment. But please be careful because if you handwrite your assignment and I cannot read your handwriting, then I cannot grade your assignment. So if you want to handwrite, make sure that it's easy to read and it will be easy for me to grade. And then even though I haven't decided, I think it's most likely to be short question or an essay question because I will not ask a multiple choice in the assignment. Nevertheless, for your exam, mid exam and final exam, most likely your question is going to be multiple choice. Okay, so that's my answer.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And then another question. Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Like I said before, your exam is most likely going to be a multiple choice. Because this is an online class, this is daring ya dalam jaringan. So your exam is going to be open book. Nevertheless, even though it's open book, I hope you do not take it lightly. Why? Because I will use Google Form for your exam, and in the Google Form, I will put not a stopwatch, a timer there. So the Google Form, if the exam is going to be 2.5 hours, then the Google Form will only be there at 2.5 hours. So even though it's open book, you cannot easily spend your time opening book, no, because it's going to be very time restricted. Okay, so still study first before you go to the exam, even though the exam is going to be open book. Okay, and I am considering to replace, not replace actually. I consider to give you an assignment in the form of paper, but I haven't decided yet. So there might be an assignment in the form of paper once in your in this class, I mean. Okay. Other question?
Ma'am, can I ask?
Yes, sure.
So what kind of platform that you will use? Will you use Google Classroom, Semester, or email, Miss? Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Fauzan. So last semester I used WebEx team, and um, it's really efficient to use WebEx team because I can have discussion with the student in the WebEx team. But today I try to use WebEx team, but I don't know. I think there is a problem with my UGM email. So I consider to use. I am considering to use Google Classroom, but I haven't decided yet. So there is no definitive answer to your question, but it will be either WebEx team or Google Classroom. Okay.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
You're welcome, Fauzan. And then other question. By the way, how many students in your class? I haven't checked yet. There are 27 people today. Is it all of you, or there are some students missing? Okay. Any more question?
Ma'am, may
Yes.
I ask?
Yes, sure.
For the part of the book, each chapter that are not covered in the PowerPoint, are they included as the exam materials or not, ma'am?
Okay, good question. Thank you. The material that are not covered in the PowerPoint is not going to be in the exam. So don't worry about it. I'm being fair here because this is an online class. It's not going to be as the same as offline class. So all the material that's going to be in the exam are in the PowerPoint. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, other question? Oh, there are legs in the screen. Okay. Okay, if you don't have any more question, I think I'm going to end this week session from here. And then I will upload this video through YouTube and then the video for the second and the third week material. Okay? Okay, no more question. Then thank you very much for coming. I wish you all happy rest of your evening. And then see you next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Thank you
very
very much, ma'am.
Thank you,
welcome.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye
Thank you, ma'am. Have a
bye.
good day.